Alrighty, hello, good evening. Welcome back to the Law Entrance YouTube channel and to another session of the Hindu analysis and to a brand new week. Today is Monday, 15th of June 2026, and we are here. Now, firstly, I want to inform you guys that I have to urgently go out for some important work, and I might be out for a couple of days as well. सो आज का सेशन जो मैं ये ले रहा हूँ दिस इज अ प्री रिकॉर्डेड सेशन, दिस इज नॉट अ लाइव सेशन, बट आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट कि कल हम लोग लाइव सेशन करें एंड अपना मेंटी क्विज भी करें. So you all come prepared for the quiz. We'll most likely have the session as well as the quiz tomorrow. Live session and the quiz. The topic is amendments to the Indian Constitution, landmark Supreme Court cases, and important articles of the Constitution. I know a lot of you would be back on the stream today after the boot camp. I hope you enjoyed the boot camp. I hope you had a lot of learnings from the boot camp, and I really hope you implement those learnings as well. मुझे भी बहुत अच्छा लगा आप लोगों से बात करके boot camp में during our logical reasoning session. Had a fun time, and I hope you all enjoyed it too. Baki, almost half of June is over. The second half has started. And with that new vigor, let's start today's discussion. आज के हिंदू एनालिसिस में बहुत ज़्यादा अपडेट्स हमारे लिए है नहीं, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. बहुत स्पाइसी नहीं है आज का न्यूज़पेपर, थोड़ा सा ब्लैंड है, बट ठीक है, विल सी वॉट एवर इज रेलिवेंट एंड विल डू दैट अकॉर्डिंगली. बाकी आज के लिए मैं आप लोगों से माफ़ी चाहूँगा लाइव ना आने के लिए, एंड या दिस सडन थोड़ा सा प्लान हो गया एंड आई हैड टू गो आउट. बट I'll make up for it. एक आध एक्स्ट्रा क्विज करेंगे, बढ़िया बातचीत करेंगे कल जब भी हम लाइव आएंगे. मोस्ट लाइकली कल लाइव आएंगे. देयर इज 99% चांस कि कल का सेशन लाइव ही होगा. ठीक है, तो ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट अपडेट्स थी. बाकी मैंने आप लोगों को ऑलरेडी हिंट दिया है कि टाइमिंग जो है चेंज होने वाला है हिंदू एनालिसिस का. दिस वुड बी डेमो रन आप कह सकते हो, विच द टीम वांट्स टू डू. I tried to convince them कि morning slot would be inconvenient for a lot of you, but they want to do a pilot project for 1 month to see how the engagement of the channel and all those things work out for them. So ठीक है, मतलब on their part they are doing their job. I am doing my job to help you guys perform better in the mocks and in the actual exam. तो अभी जो है I would have to kind of accede to their demands, and फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट मंडे, आज का मंडे जो है उसके बाद नेक्स्ट मंडे जो आएगा उससे मोस्ट लाइकली आपको हिंदू एनालिसिस एक नए टाइम पे देखने को मिलेगा. एग्जैक्ट टाइम मैं आपको 1-2 दिन में बता दूंगा, बट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू कीप यू गाइज इन लूप दैट दिस ट्रांजिशन इज गोइंग टू हैपन फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट वीक. सो काइंडली कोऑपरेट. आई वुड रियली अप्रिशिएट इफ यू गाइज कैन टर्न अप at the time which we decide, and if not, I really hope that you would show the same amount of love to the stream after it has ended live, and maybe you watch it later in the day. तो थोड़ा सा कृपा बनाए रखना हमारी स्ट्रीम पे. ऐसा ना हो कि हमारा ये जो कनेक्शन बना है 6 महीने में ये टूट जाए. ये टूटना नहीं चाहिए. आप लोग कमेंट्स कर सकते हो, आप लोग मुझे पर्सनल ईमेल्स तो लिखते ही हो एंड मैसेजेस वगैरह भी लिखते ही हो. सो हम लोगों के बीच में जो है टच बना रहे, वो मैं पूरी कोशिश करूँगा, एंड उसमें मुझे आप लोगों की भी पूरी हेल्प चाहिए. सो इट्स अ two-way kind of arrangement जहाँ पे we'll try to see if this new slot works for us or not, and if it does not, we'll revert back to the old slot, or we'll find a convenient slot which works for majority of you, and if it works then we'll see how that goes as well. ठीक है, तो ये कुछ important updates थे आप लोगों के लिए. Now let's look at today's agenda. 15th of June. 3 topics for today's discussion on the PPT. One is the Thai-Bharat connection. This is an editorial by Mr. Shashi Tharoor. Then opportunity for Indian children and unchecked AI. These are 2 other editorials which we'll look at in today's newspaper. Apart from that, a few articles, 4 or 5 relevant articles on the newspaper which we'll discuss in detail, and some others which we'll discuss very briefly. With that, let's start today's discussion. Let me take you to the newspaper for the day, and then let's begin. बाकी आप लोग मुझे प्लीज बताना कमेंट्स में और चैट बॉक्स में कि आप लोगों का बूट कैंप कैसा रहा है. रियली वांट टू नो कि आप लोगों ने क्या क्या सीखा, व्हाट वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस लाइक, एंड yeah, whatever you guys have on your mind, it's a new week, I want to know your thoughts, I want to engage with you guys. So आप स्ट्रीम में अपने मैसेजेस छोड़ सकते हो. एनिमल फन फैक्ट भी मैं एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ आज का. मैं जाऊंगा स्ट्रीम पे वापस एंड मैं पढ़ूंगा सारी की सारी चैट्स. तो आप लोग अपने मैसेजेस ड्रॉप कर सकते हो, बीच बीच में भी एंगेज आपस में तो करते रहोगे आप लोग. मुझे पता है आप लोगों की बातचीत चलती रहती है आपस में, मॉक्स को लेके एंड बाकी चीज़ों को लेके. सो वो अपना एंगेजमेंट आप लोग चैट में बनाए रखें. कोशिश करें कि एंगेजमेंट थोड़ा सिविल और पोलाइट रहे. ठीक है, लड़ाई झगड़ा ना हो मेरे एब्सेंस में. ऐसा ना हो कि आप लोग स्ट्रीम बैन वैन करवा दो. ठीक है, तो काइंडली थोड़ा ध्यान रखें. बाकी तो मस्त चल ही रहा है सब. ठीक है, चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं आज की बातचीत. दिस इज द हिंदू न्यूज पेपर, 15th of June. द डे इज मंडे. And we start off with this news where Modi ji and Macron have a bilateral talk and they stress on the economic security. Emmanuel Macron, we all are aware, is the French president and इन्होंने ये जो plan बनाया है इसको they are calling the Innovation Roadmap 2030. And this provides a direction for our cooperation in technology, research, startups, innovation, future industries, etc., etc. And they're starting a new dialogue on economic security where this would be a formal mechanism जहाँ पे both the countries would come forward and discuss the economic risk, the opportunities, and how they can work together on issues like supply chains, critical technologies, strategic minerals, cyber security, etc., etc. Baki, they would be pushing for the India-European Union Free Trade Agreement as well, which would make it easier for both the parties. And ये जो partnership है हमारी फ्रांस के साथ, इसको हमने upgrade कर दिया है and we have renamed it as Special Global Strategic Partnership, which basically means a deeper partnership. And काफी ज़्यादा focus इस बार रहा है artificial intelligence पे. We are establishing a joint India-France AI working group to collaborate on AI research development and its practical applications. बाकी दोनों कंट्रीज जो है साथ में मिलके एस्टैब्लिश करेंगे डिफरेंट स्टार्टअप्स, टेक कंपनीज, यूनिवर्सिटीज, रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशंस. ये प्लान में है. ठीक है, बाकी इसमें कोई जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट नहीं रिलीज करी जो ट्रेडिशनली करी जाती है आफ्टर बायलैटरल मीटिंग्स. बट या दे बेसिकली गेव एन आउटलाइन ऑफ व्हाट दे आर प्लानिंग टू डू. ठीक है जी, लेट्स मूव अहेड. Iran questions US push for truce after Israel hits Beirut. So, apart from this news, the latest update, what we saw, what you might have seen, is that Donald Trump recently tweeted on his platform that truce has been established and now Strait of Hormuz is open, let the oil flow, ऐसा उन्होंने ट्वीट किया. एंड अब दिख रहा है कि हो सकता है दिस माइट रिजल्ट इन अ एक्चुअल पीस डील. देखो फ्राइडे को फाइनलाइज होनी है. विल सी ओवर द वीक व्हाट हैपेंस. माय पर्सनल कट कॉल इज कि फिर से कुछ ना कुछ या तो ईरान हरकत कर देगा या यूएस हरकत कर देगा. एंड आई रियली वांट द पीस टू बी एस्टैब्लिश. आई एम नॉट बीइंग पेसिमिस्ट और promoting war here, but with the tactics Trump has shown in the past few months, I'm not very convinced of his promise. Anyway, moving ahead, Indian flagged sailing vessel sinks off Oman and the crew was rescued. So this was a vessel which was called MSV Virat 1 and इसका इंजन फेल हो गया. ये ओमान के पास सेल कर रहा था एंड ये जो है सी में डूब गया. 14 के 14 जो क्रू मेंबर्स थे उनको सेफली रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया एंड दे अबैंडन्ड द वेसल बेसिकली एंड दे मूव्ड इनटू अ लाइफ राफ्ट आफ्टर द इंजन फेल्ड. एंड फिर एक रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चलाया गया एंड उन सबको रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया. एम्बेसी जो है इंडिया की ओमान में, उन्होंने ये इन्फॉर्म किया कि सब लोग एकदम सेफ हैं, गुड हेल्थ में हैं एंड उनको ट्रांसफर किया जा रहा है टू अ कार्गो वेसल कॉल्ड MV जबल अली जो मुंबई की तरफ आ रहा है. So yeah, that is what has happened. This was a MSV. MSV is mechanized sailing vessel. जो छोटे कार्गो वेसल्स होते हैं यूजुअली पोर्ट सिटीज के बीच में ऑपरेट करते हैं एंड यूजुअली फूड आइटम्स, छोटा कार्गो, एसेंशियल सप्लाईज लेके जाते हैं इधर से उधर. एंड इंडिया के काफ़ी सारे पोर्ट्स, गल्फ के काफ़ी सारे पोर्ट्स से कनेक्टेड है एंड दिस वाज वन सच शिप विच वाज फॉलोइंग वन सच रूट. ये जो MSV विराट है, दिस इज अराउंड 50 meters in length and around 12 meters in width or breadth. And इसका जो है इंजन अचानक से फेल हो गया, इस वजह से this kind of sank. So that is the update. We'll move forward. 7 nabbed over lynching of Kerala man in West Bengal. That's unfortunate. Okay, city-based news is not important for us. We'll move ahead. State-based news में this is mostly politics. IUML UDF on sticky wicket over non-Muslim members nomination to the Waqf board. अभी इसमें कोई मेजर अपडेट आएगा तब बताऊंगा मैं आप लोगों को डिटेल में. अभी के लिए उतना इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है. Indra would have banned BJP, says Gehlot. AIDMK rebel leader hits out at Palniswamy. ठीक है, state politics not important. बिहार एक्साइज कांस्टेबल एस्पिरेंट्स पेल्ट स्टोन्स ओवर शॉर्टेज ऑफ ट्रेन्स. तो इनको ये अपना एग्जाम देने जाना था, बट इनकी जो स्पेशल ट्रेन की डिमांड थी वो पूरी नहीं करी गई. तो 200 लोगों ने पत्थरबाजी करी ट्रेन के ऊपर. पुलिस ने फायरिंग करी, टीयर गैस शेल्स चलाए टू डिस्पर्स द मॉब. एंड इसमें कुछ लोगों को इंजरी हुई है एंड काफ़ी सारे लोगों को इन्होंने डिटेन भी किया है. ठीक है. CPIM targeting Rahul Gandhi, not important. 3 children and a man drowned in Andhra Pradesh. Yet unfortunate. Okay. Activists seek accountability from center at the Cockroach Janata Party protest. तो recently हमने देखा था एक protest हुआ था where they demanded the education minister Mr. धर्मेंद्र प्रधान to resign. दिल्ली में जंतर मंतर में protest हुआ था सबसे पहला, जहां इनके फाउंडर अभिजीत दिप्के बॉस्टन से आए थे. एंड अब इन्होंने प्रोटेस्ट ऑर्गेनाइज किए हैं इन हैदराबाद एंड बैंगलोर. एंड दे वांट टू मेक इट अ नेशन वाइड कैंपेन अगेंस्ट द एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर डिमांडिंग हिज रेजिग्नेशन. And they are saying that the government is failing to address the irregularities in the exam and this is affecting a lot of students. Cockroach Janata Party के बारे में हमें background पता ही है, that what prompted the formation of it and how it gained momentum. Recently हमने देखा कि सोनम वांगचुक ने भी दोनों events इनके अटेंड and he emphasized on education and environmental protection. Just give me 1 second. Okay, we are back, folks. कहाँ थे हम? न्यूज़पेपर पे थे. न्यूज़पेपर मैंने शेयर ही नहीं किया क्या आप लोगों के साथ अभी तक? Oh my God, इतना बड़ा ब्लंडर कैसे हो गया मेरे से? ठीक है, तो मैं आपको एक बार फिर से so sorry for this. हो जाता है कभी कभार. तो ये था मोदी जी एंड मैक्रोन वाला आर्टिकल. This is the Iran वाला article on the right, ओमान वाला article down below. और क्या डिस्कस किया हमने? और हमने ये बिहार एक्साइज वाला डिस्कस किया. Then कॉकरोच जनता पार्टी वाला आर्टिकल. 5 articles we have discussed up till now. ठीक है. I hope the newspaper is now clearly visible to everyone. मुझे आदत है ना बार बार चैट बॉक्स चेक करने की, तो मुझे दिख जाता है कि स्क्रीन न्यू कि आज मुझे चैट बॉक्स नहीं चेक करना है, तो मैंने देखा ही नहीं कि स्क्रीन शेयरिंग पे मैंने न्यूज़पेपर लगाया या नहीं लगाया. माय बैड. कोई नहीं, लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. अच्छा हुआ मैंने जल्दी रियलाइज कर लिया बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कॉल इंटरप्शन, वरना पूरा एनालिसिस मैं कर देता विदाउट ओपनिंग द न्यूज़पेपर. Okay, moving forward, the editorial section. Let's go for it. The hidden history of Thai Bharat connection. इसको हम PPT पे देखेंगे. Left hand side वाला article talks about fuller expression. A rapid decline in inflation appears unlikely even if the war ends. Now, inflation की हम बात already कर चुके हैं that it's at a all-time high and करंट CPI सीरीज को अब हम फॉलो कर रहे हैं, विच इज कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स. एंड उसमें जो है ये 15 मंथ के हाई पे चल रहा है, जो रिसेंट नंबर्स आए हैं मई के. एंड दैट इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग इन द राइजिंग फूड एंड फ्यूल प्राइसेस एज वेल. फूड जो है अकाउंट्स अ लार्ज शेयर इन हाउस होल्ड स्पेंडिंग, स्पेशली फॉर लोअर एंड मिडिल इनकम फैमिलीज. देयरफॉर फूड का इन्फ्लेशन जो है डायरेक्टली रिफ्लेक्ट होता है in the CPI. And of course petrol and diesel prices वेस्ट एशियन क्राइसिस की वजह से बढ़े ही हैं, so we are already aware of that. सिलेंडर्स के प्राइसेस बढ़े हैं, होटल्स के प्राइसेस बढ़े हैं, गोल्ड एंड प्रेशियस मेटल्स के प्राइसेस बढ़े हैं. and RBI is becoming cautious of all of these things and they are trying to keep the inflation below the 4% target. and अभी उन्होंने न्यूट्रल स्टैंस ऑब्टेन किया है. In the recent meeting they have kept the stance as neutral, which means they are not going to alter the repo rate as of now. अभी they are going to observe and then later decide. Rupee की बात करें तो rupee is weakening constantly against the dollar. 95-96 के आसपास ट्रेड कर रहा है rupee versus the dollar. तो that is also a concerning factor. बाकी core inflation जो है हमारा 3.8 से 3.9% चल रहा है. core inflation का मतलब है the inflation which excludes food and fuel prices, उसको core inflation कहते हैं. And कोर इन्फ्लेशन इतना है 4 से कम है, इसका मतलब अभी जो है इन्फ्लेशन बाकी सेक्टर्स में स्प्रेड नहीं हुआ है इकोनॉमी के. सो दैट इज अ सिल्वर लाइनिंग यू कुड से, वन पॉजिटिव थिंग. एंड दैट्स अबाउट दिस आर्टिकल pretty much. 7-point IQ opportunity for Indian children. This we'll discuss on the PPT itself. Then on the left-hand side, we see series of gaps. Distrust of police has led to the underreporting of child sexual abuse. Now, this is pretty much what the headline says. It talks about how this is a systemic failure which involves families, communities, policing, court systems, urban planning, social attitudes, all of these things. And most of these abuses are committed by people who are known to the victim, not strangers. In more than 90% of the cases, the offender is someone known. And that makes it even more grave concern, I would say, because the families should recognize these risks that exist within their own social circles and protect these kids who are vulnerable from getting trapped into such into the hands of such perpetrators. अब ऑथर इसमें कहते हैं कि अनसेफ पब्लिक स्पेसेस आल्सो कंट्रीब्यूट्स टू क्राइम. अबैंडन्ड फैक्ट्रीज हो गई, अनयूज्ड लैंड हो गया, पुअरली मेंटेन्ड पब्लिक एरियाज, पार्क्स वगैरह हो गए जहाँ पे इस टाइप के क्राइम्स ज़्यादा फ्लरिश करते हैं. दैट इज़ अनदर थिंग विच वी नीड टू वर्क ऑन. अर्बन प्लानिंग भी सॉल्व करनी पड़ेगी. एंड ऑफ कोर्स द जस्टिस सिस्टम इज स्ट्रगलिंग. पॉक्सो के जो ट्रायल्स हैं वैसे तो वो बहुत जल्दी कंप्लीट होने चाहिए, बट most POXO cases face a lot of pendency and courts में बहुत सारे cases pending चल रहे हैं, unresolved चल रहे हैं for long period of time, and conviction rate भी बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है. So this also kinds of delays the process and reduces the public confidence in the legal system, and victims की families को जो लगता है कि justice हमें नहीं मिलने वाला है. एंड इस वजह से बहुत सारे केसेस रिपोर्ट ही नहीं होते. लार्ज नंबर ऑफ केसेस आर नॉट इवन रिपोर्टेड. सो दैट इज आल्सो अ मेजर कंसर्न, बिकॉज people don't really trust a lot on police, they don't really trust a lot on the judicial system, and उस वजह से this is becoming a more systemic problem. And सिर्फ punishment harsh करके आप इस प्रॉब्लम को रूट कॉज से सॉल्व नहीं कर सकते. आपको सारे डायमेंशंस पे काम करना पड़ेगा, बेस्ड ऑन डेटा, बेस्ड ऑन एविडेंस. And that is how we would be able to resolve this issue, by working towards it in a more sensitive and holistic manner, is what the article tells us. Fair enough. Towards a fair, efficient insolvency regime. वैसे तो हमारे लिए उतना relevant नहीं है ये, but insolvency basically company law से related है. इसका proper legislation होता है जो आप पढ़ोगे law school में, IBC कहते हैं उसको, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. जब बेसिकली कोई कंपनी या फिर कोई पर्सन के पास एसेट्स नहीं बचते हैं अपनी लायबिलिटीज एब्जॉल्व करने के लिए, तो आप कह सकते हो कि दे आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स बैंक्रप्सी और इंसॉल्वेंसी. एंड इसके जो अमेंडमेंट्स हैं उसकी बात करता है ये आर्टिकल, एंड इट टॉक्स अबाउट हाउ दिस इज अ चक्रव्यूह चैलेंज. द प्रॉब्लम इज, on one hand you have to save companies, on the other hand you also have to protect creditors. इन लोगों ने पैसा दिया है उन कंपनीज को. एंड इंडिया का जो इंसॉल्वेंसी सिस्टम है दैट हैज फेस्ड अ डिफिकल्ट बैलेंस कि भाई हम कंपनी को बचाएं या फिर शुड वी प्रोटेक्ट द क्रेडिटर्स. And that is where we face a lot of challenges in terms of ease of doing business, and that is what this law kind of regulates, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, where they aspire to resolve these cases quickly, generate maximum value for creditors, prevent the delays. And in practice, that is not what actually happens. The cases often get stuck in a lot of litigation, courts become overloaded. We all know the drill. So अब जो नया अमेंडमेंट आया है, दिस इज कॉल्ड CIIRP, which is Creditor Initiated Insolvency Resolution Process. टेक्निकलिटीज में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट in very simple layman terms, the goal is to come towards a more faster and less disruptive way of rescuing these companies जो financial stress के through जा रही है. How is this different from normal insolvency या अभी तक जो चल रहा था? Under traditional insolvency, creditors had control and existing management of the company lost control. But under this new system, now the existing management would also remain in charge of the day-to-day operations, and a resolution professional would supervise this whole process. ठीक है, I know थोड़ा सा technical है ये, but that is the change. इसमें हमें बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल की ज़रूरत नहीं है, ये आप लोग लॉ स्कूल में आके ज़्यादा अच्छे से पढ़ोगे. अभी के लिए बस आपको इतना पता होना चाहिए कि इंसॉल्वेंसी बैंक्रप्सी कोड में एक अमेंडमेंट आया है कॉल्ड CIRP. ठीक है, कॉर्पोरेट इंसॉल्वेंसी रेजोल्यूशन प्रोसेस. दैट्स प्रीटी मच ऑल यू नीड टू नो एज ऑफ नाउ. ज़्यादा डेप्थ की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ठीक है, ऑलराइट, मूविंग अहेड, लेट्स गो. This one is not relevant. You can move forward. This is also not relevant. Move forward. The world needs inclusive, human-centric tech, says the Prime Minister. This also you can skip. Security forces will retaliate if fired at once. The TGP in Manipur. We all know things are going a little unstable in Manipur for quite a while now. All right, CISF is training 7120 personnel in counter-drone operations post-op Sindoor. Pretty much what the headline says. There's nothing much to explain. You all know about Operation Sindoor, you all know about CISF, and they are being trained in counter-drone operations now. Cool. Let's move forward. This is a new update. Just a second, folks. Yeah, okay. We're back. So yeah, this is a new update. Army unveils new uniform policy and they're phasing out colonial era practices. So as you can see, these 5 specimens of the uniforms which you have, they are now introducing new uniform rules through a set of rules which is called the Army Uniforms Pamphlet. The objective is to modernize the military dress regulations and remove all the colonial hangover or colonial traditions which we have, and promote a stronger Indian identity and improve the coordination between the 3 armed forces, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Indian Army. And इसके लिए they are planning to introduce a common uniform numbering system. So for the first time, all these forces would have a common numbering scheme, which would make it easier to identify their uniforms and would result in better interoperability among these services, which of course results in simpler administration and communication. अभी जो है सबके यूनिफॉर्म्स अलग हैं, सबकी रैंक्स अलग हैं, सबका प्रोसेस काफ़ी डिफरेंट है. एंड देर आर 4 कैटेगरीज ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म्स विच दे हैव. वन इज द सेरेमोनियल ड्रेस विच दे ऑफन वेयर फॉर परेड्स, फंक्शंस, ऑफिशियल सेरेमनीज. देन देयर इज द वर्किंग ड्रेस फॉर रूटीन ड्यूटीज. Then there is the mess dress, which is the formal attire which is worn during military dinners and social events. And then of course there's the combat dress. When you go in an operation in the field, that is the uniform which they don. And now, what are the colonial era elements which are being removed? The key changes are that they're now including a bandi jacket, which is now going to be a part of their formal civil attire, which would promote indigenous clothing traditions and show our cultural identity. Apart from that, they are now removing pouch belts from certain dresses. You can see the specimens in this picture. Now, the sword carriage has also been made optional for the reviewing officers. It used to be a ceremonial sword which they used to carry, and now it has become kind of optional. They're also removing some outdated terms like royal from army usage, because these were also British era, colonial era terms, which are no longer relevant in the modern day-to-day scenario. So yeah, that's pretty much what the update is. Let's move forward. Then this is state politics, not relevant for you all. Again, politics. This is another accident. 4 people jump off a train in MP over a rumor and they were run over by another train. Unfortunate accident. काफी सारे unfortunate tragedies in today's paper. Okay. Odisha village to get crocodile alert system under the smart village plan. Pretty much what the headline says. This is going to be a AI system which would warn the villagers about crocodiles in the nearby vicinity. And this is being We could say spearheaded by the CSIR, which is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. And they're transforming a place called Kusunpur into a smart village by bringing these tech solutions to improve safety, infra, livelihoods, public health, employment opportunities, and multiple other things. And over the past 4 years, many crocodile incidents have happened in this particular area, and they now want to bring a tech enabled solution for animal detection and an alerting system which would work through different cameras, AI softwares, and whenever it senses an animal nearby, the villagers would be receiving alerts and warnings which would most likely save their lives. So that's a good initiative, I believe. Yeah, that's all. Moving ahead, what else do we have? Let's see. In world news, UK forces intercept a sanctioned oil vessel linked to Russia's shadow fleet. So we all know Russia is facing a lot of sanctions because of its participation in the Russia-Ukraine war. And UK के जो armed forces हैं, they detained this fuel tanker which was attempting to cross the English Channel in the first UK-led operation of its kind. ब्रिटिश मिनिस्ट्री ने ये इन्फॉर्म किया है एंड यूके के फॉरेन मिनिस्टर ने ऑफ कोर्स इसको अप्रिशिएट किया है बिकॉज व्हाई नॉट. सो बैड न्यूज़ फॉर रशिया, गुड न्यूज़ फॉर यूक्रेन, गुड न्यूज़ फॉर यूके एज वेल. बेसिकली इनका एक इलीगल आप कह सकते हो वेसल उनके वाटर्स के थ्रू पास होने की कोशिश कर रहा था एंड दे इंटरसेप्टेड इट. ठीक है. Putin and Zelensky speak with Trump as strikes kill two in Russia. China's ability to launch direct missile strikes on Australia is growing, says a report. Okay, okay. In sports news, Lewis Hamilton has claimed his first win this year with Ferrari. This is the Barcelona Formula One Grand Prix. And we were seeing that Kimi Antonelli from Mercedes was winning the previous few championships. So now we have a new winner. Lewis Hamilton, one of the OGs of the sport. Nice. Then India women cricket team has defeated Pakistan's cricket team in the recently started T20 Women's World Cup. India defeating Pakistan, age-old story. It's not even a rivalry anymore. It's total domination by India, like always. It's nothing new there. It's routine now. That's pretty much all that is in sports news as well. And with that, I believe we come to the end of the discussion. We'll move to our PPT, do the remaining 3 articles, and then the vocab for the day. All right. So this is an article by Mr. Shashi Tharoor, Thai Bharat Connection. 15th of June today marks the 84th anniversary of the historic meeting, which we have allowed ourselves to forget, which led to the birth of the INA, the International Army. The roots of this alliance were sown in 1927 during a historic visit to Siam, which is now called Thailand, by Rabindranath Tagore, who met with King Prajadipok, also called Rama VII. Their dialogue centered on the deep, enduring connections between India and Thailand, ancient ties rooted in religion, philosophy, shared cultural narratives, like the Ramayana and Thai Ramakien, which is their version of Ramayana. Inspired by his vision, Praful Kumar Sen, a Bengali scholar who became to be known as Swami Satyanand Puri, arrived in Bangkok in 1932. One of the most instrumental figures in this era was Sardar Gyani Pritam Singh, a Sikh missionary and Ghadar Party veteran. Ghadar Party was a party involved in the freedom struggle. आपने सुना होगा US से अपने operations run करते थे for the Indian freedom struggle. And he had been preaching revolutionary ideas among the Indian diaspora in Bangkok. INA का background अगर discuss करें तो it was a military force formed during World War II to, of course, fight against the British rule. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was at the helm of it, and this was formed by Captain Mohan Singh, who proposed forming an army for Indian prisoners of war. And he also gained Japanese support for us, recruiting 40,000 soldiers. But conflicts with the Japanese over troop size led to his removal. Then Raj Bihari Bose was also involved in this quite intimately, and he also helped in forming the India Independence League in Tokyo. And of course, we all know about Subhash Chandra Bose. On 25th August 1943, he became the supreme commander of the INA, and later in October, he established the Provisional Government of Free India in Singapore. This INA was recognized by 9 countries, including Japan, Germany, Italy, and China. Under the Chalo Delhi campaign, they hoisted their flag on Indian soil in Manipur, but ended in Imphal due to Japan's defeat in World War II. Japanese retreat weakened the INA, and after Japan's surrender, INA also surrendered. Subhash Chandra Bose reportedly died in a Taiwan plane crash, leading to INA's disbandment. But we are not sure about Mr. Bose's death. There are a lot of rumors, conspiracies, and stories about whether he died actually or whether he survived and lived on in disguise. Multiple theories around it, very often discussed conspiracy, I would say. After INA's defeat, many INA soldiers were court-martialed as prisoners of war, sparking protest across the country and fueling the India's independence movement. पहला ट्रायल हुआ है रेड फोर्ट in 1945, which involved three officers, Prem Kumar Sehgal, Shahnawaz Khan, and Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon. So one was a Hindu, one Muslim, and Sikh. Truly a secular trial, I would say, emphasizing the unity of the INA. At the Bombay Congress session, a resolution supported these prisoners. Eminent lawyers defended them. Jawaharlal Nehru was one of them. So that was about the INA and our links, our cultural links with Thailand. Because anniversary है तो ये article था. The 7-point IQ opportunity for Indian children. This is an interesting article. It throws the question that what if we could increase the IQ of the future generation by 7 points with a pivot, a small change in the understanding of early childhood development under the ongoing Anganwadi system. You are aware of the Anganwadi system. There are caretakers for all of these rural children from underprivileged backgrounds. And for decades, India's early childhood agenda has focused on ensuring that these children survive early childhood, first of all, and reducing the under 5 mortality rate. And we have done a pretty good job at it. The numbers show that we have invested a lot and we have received a lot of output in terms of health, nutrition, immunization, sanitation conditions, multiple things. And this Anganwadi system reflects that these priorities at scale are working in our favor. However, body and brain development in early years is something which we are not working on. Early childhood development is an ecological process in which nutrition, health, and early learning interact dynamically with each other through the body, brain, and environment. The developing brain is highly energy intensive, consuming 1/5 of the body's energy at rest. In the first year alone, gray matter volume, gray matter is what you find in your prefrontal cortex, which promotes your thinking, critical thinking, and other cognitive abilities. This gray matter volume increases by 149% in the first year alone. And the cerebellum, which is another part of the brain, this increases by 240% because there are millions of synapses which are forming, millions of neuron connections which are forming, which help you in movement, language, and planning. Pediatric research in Jamaica shows that many cultures already understand this and they are working with young children. They're working with stunted children as well. And they found that nutritional supplementation improved the physical health as well as adding regular psychosocial stimulation, which means talking to children in a gentle manner, responsive interaction. This also helped in a stronger cognitive gain. And Anganwadis are, of course, playing a pivotal role here. They talk about how other initiatives like the Poshan Pakhwada initiative conducted in April by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. This also focuses on early stimulation for brain development, play-based education, role of parents and communities, and reducing screen exposure, strengthening engagement with the children. All of this helps a lot in the overall development of the child. And this ecological approach uplifts families as much as it strengthens the children. Reliable childhood care gives mothers the time, confidence, and opportunity to work, study, or contribute economically. And this another program which we are discussing here is the ICDS, Integrated Child Development Services, which is a centrally sponsored flagship program launched on 2nd October 1975 by Ministry of Women and Child Development to improve nutrition, health, and early learning outcomes of the children who are 0 to 6 years of age. ICDS has now been revised and subsumed मतलब एक तरीके से merge हो गई है with the mission Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0 scheme. So Poshan का पहले first version था, now we have the Poshan 2.0 and objective वही है, improving health and nutrition of children and lay a foundation for their physical, social, and psychological well-being and reduce child mortality, morbidity, malnutrition, and school dropouts and help in overall development. Okay, the last article for the day is AI and a gathering storm of unchecked power. Now, this is quite apparent what the article is going to be about from the heading. It talks about distrust of police, which has led to the underreporting of these cases. We were discussing it in another editorial as well, where child abuse in India remains persistently underreported, and the state also responds to it in a very apathetic manner, you could say. In 90% of the cases, including the recent case in Coimbatore, where a charge sheet was filed, the threat to child is usually from trusted people. I think this is the same article, kind of similar to what we discussed recently. Let's see if there's something new here. They talk about the Safe City project, recognition of child-friendly urban development paradigms. All right, we discussed this. POXO trials, we discussed this. I think this is the same article. All right. With that, we come to the end of our analysis. 3 vocab words for the day. The first word is abeyance. ये word आप लोगों ने सुना होगा इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी के टाइम पे, when it was put in abeyance, which means temporary disuse or suspension. Suspension, dormancy, recession are synonyms. Continuation, continuance are antonyms. Our weekend plans were held in abeyance until we could get a weather forecast. The next word is histrionic, which means overly theatrical or melodramatic in character or style. ज़्यादा ही हरकतें करना. Melodramatic, theatrical, dramatic. This is called histrionic. Antonym is undramatic. She put a histrionic display of grief at her ex-husband's funeral. That is a sentence. The last word is insinuate. Insinuate means suggesting or hinting something bad in an indirect and unpleasant way, implying something, hinting something. What are you trying to insinuate? Can I get jate ho? Is what this means. Insinuating, suggesting something bad. Histrionic is melodramatic, and abeyance is put in suspension or paused. With that, we come to the end of today's discussion. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Tomorrow, we'll most likely meet in a live two-way discussion. And yeah, most likely we'll have our quiz as well. So come prepared. We might have our Menti quiz tomorrow. आज के लिए इतना ही. Thank you so much. Tada. Bye-bye. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Signing off.